Hey everyone, and welcome to what ended up turning out to be blank game week 14. Very interesting turn of events this game week. Some sad news, and at least another decent fantasy week, but kind of gets tampered with that crappy news from the Inter Fiorentina game, and that's where we will start out. There was scheduled to be a full 10 games this week, but not too far into the Inter Fiorentina fixture. Bove from Fiorentina went down. I think it sounded like having a seizure into a cardiac arrest or something of those sorts. He has come out of coma or is recovering in hospital right now. So I think everything is okay there, but that game ended up getting abandoned and not being part of this game week anymore. So there only ended up being the nine. What Serie Fantasy decided to do is just took all the points away from any Inter and Fiorentina player. Basically, everyone was just on one that had started the match at that point, and then made them eligible to sub. And for me, that makes sense because if none of those minutes or points or anything like that are going to contribute in actual statistics for Serie A, why would they count in Serie A fantasy as well? I believe I also recall if just as a comparable to the Fantasy Premier League, I think there was a Bournemouth match that ended up having to get abandoned last year where I think like Solanke had scored a goal and then that ended up getting wiped away because the match got abandoned. Da, da, da. So I think this is consistent with how fantasy sites generally make these kind of decisions. So those players were able to be subbed. So I did used to have Thuram, De Gea, and Di Marco in my squad. All of them, I think, did play, but now they're all subbed out because they're all part of that fixture. And for some people, I think actually for a lot of people, this ended up working out pretty well because a lot of people had Mon on their bench who ended up scoring with 10 points. A lot of people had Suzuki on their bench. And if you had those two, the Parma pair there, that's 17 points right there. And I had both of those players come in, and that was kind of good for me. The last player that ended up subbing in that was originally on my bench because of the abandoned game was VT for 2 points, which wasn't great, but I had him in my third bench spot. I assumed that he wasn't going to be scoring high this week. Along my back line, I also had Di Lorenzo. Napoli got the 1-0 win, and Cambiaso, who scored the goal for Juve despite them allowing a late goal against Lecce. Heartbreaker as a fan. The rest of the midfield was made up of Zaccagni, Lookman, Yildiz, and Pulisic was my captain. He got an assist, so it kind of paid off because they got the double clean sheet as well. That went okay. And then Castellanos did score the lone goal for Lazio against Parma, which was nice to see. And Retegui and Lookman both got subbed right before Atalanta ended up getting 2 goals. So that's how my week shook out. It was a score of 80 points on a round average of 60, which was good. And I'm into the top 500 now, which is pretty sweet. It just kind of feels a little dirty based on the fact that 19 of those points are coming because of a cardiac arrest. But that's how it shakes out this week. Hopefully, just everyone's okay and things look a little better health wise for all the players next week. But that is how we stand. We can look at the league and we see La Bedia still at the top with 1,200 points. Look at those defensive numbers along. Unfortunately, gets the blank on both goalkeepers there. Well, I don't think it was a blank, just because Empoli allowed 3 goals. So Vasquez ended up scoring 0. Had Pulisic, but not much else going on to the midfield or attack. It was mostly all defense and gets the 68 points there. Just benching 3 points from Pats, but the only person that would have really been better for him to come out for was Vertega. Actually, you can't because you need one striker. So that was literally the maximum amount of points he could have got for this game. In second place, we still have Udogi Style, where unfortunately it does have to take one of the blanks from the Inter game due to Tavares not playing as well. Has great defense. Captain Cambiaso, great decision there. Ran into accidentally, well, not accidentally, I'm sure intentionally played Vasquez, but taking that 0 instead of the Suzuki 7. Same kind of idea, big on the defense points, but not so much going forward. Had Kvaratskhelia and Pulisic at least got 73. And lastly, Snake still in third. We still have our same top 3. Again, having to keep Thuram up there. But had at least Karnaseki in net for Atalanta with a 2-0 win. Captain Teo Hernandez getting the full clean sheet points. Again, more big defensive points. A little more into the midfield though with Pulisic, Mon, and Kvaratskhelia. Also had Piccoli up front, which is someone that I have been looking at that has been returning consistently for game week 19 when we need to pick players from smaller teams. But we'll talk about team selection in the next video coming up, which should be a full slate of 10 games. I'll see you there soon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.